Have you ever wanted to build some really powerful AI automations but got scared off by the price tag? Well, stick around. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on how you can get one of the best automation tools out there for, well, next to nothing. Let's dive in.
So right off the bat, let's just frame the whole situation. On one side, you've got your traditional automation platforms. Yeah, they're powerful, but man, they can come with some high monthly costs, and you're kind of locked into their way of doing things. But on the other side, you've got a self-hosted tool like n8n, which just completely flips the script, giving you super low costs and total complete control.
All right, let's talk about that first big hurdle for so many people, the cost trap. Look, even an amazing tool like n8n has a standard cloud plan, and it'll run you about $24 a month. And for some businesses, that's totally fine. But if you're an entrepreneur or a small business just getting started, that monthly fee can feel like a real wall standing between you and your automation dreams.
But here's the really cool part. n8n itself actually gives you a powerful way around its own pricing model.
So what is n8n? Well, if you've ever heard of Zapier, you've got the basic idea. But the key difference here is that n8n is open source, and that is a total game changer. It's really built for more complex, AI-heavy tasks, and it gives you a level of customization that's just really hard to find anywhere else.
And what can you do with it? Oh man, the list just goes on and on. We're talking automating your emails, managing databases, posting to social media, even building out really sophisticated AI chatbots. Seriously, if you're not using automations like these yet, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to make your life and your business so much more efficient.
So the big question is, how do you get all this amazing power without that monthly subscription? Well, that brings us to what I like to call the self-hosting secret. By choosing to self-host n8n, you can save a jaw-dropping 70 to 80% compared to the standard cloud plans. I mean, come on, that's not just some little discount. It's a completely different way of accessing this kind of tech. It means you can play, build, and scale your biggest ideas without that nagging worry about a climbing monthly bill. Now, the key to all of this is something called a virtual private server, or a VPS. And don't let the name intimidate you, okay? The easiest way to think about it is it's just your own little private computer that lives up in the cloud. It's on 24/7, just waiting to run your n8n automations for you. And getting started is way easier than you'd think. It really just boils down to 3 simple steps. 1, you get a VPS. Just look for a provider that has a pre-built n8n template. 2, you just click that template when you're setting it up, and it does all the hard installation stuff for you. And 3, you activate your free community license. That's literally it. You're ready to go.
Okay, so you've got it installed. Awesome. Now what? Let's run through a real quick start guide to get you comfortable inside the platform. The n8n dashboard really has 3 main spots you'll be hanging out in. First is workflows. Think of this as your canvas, your playground. It's where you build everything. Then you have credentials, which is like a secure vault where you connect all your other apps, like Google or OpenAI. And finally, there's executions, which is basically a logbook that shows you every single time one of your automations ran.
Now, you can absolutely build everything from scratch, but let me tell you, the fastest, easiest way to get something powerful up and running is to use a template. For anyone new to this, it's a massive time saver.
And the templates you can find are just incredible. I mean, you can find things like an AI-powered generator for making short-form videos, automatic social media posters, or even super complex workflows that keep all your databases in sync. You just find one you like, copy it, and plug in your own accounts.
But to really get a feel for how n8n works, nothing beats building something yourself. So let's walk through a pretty simple but super practical workflow, taking info from a web form and turning it into an automatic follow-up. So here's the game plan. It all starts with a trigger. Someone fills out our form. That data then gets zapped over to a Google Sheet automatically. After that, we're going to use a filter to weed out any leads we don't want, and for the grand finale, we'll send a personalized email based on who that person is. Now, this next part is so important. Automation isn't just about going faster, it's about being smarter. So in our example, we add what's called a filter node. We can set a simple rule that says, hey, if the occupation field says student, just stop right there. This makes sure our valuable follow-up actions are only spent on the most qualified people. Then, after the filter, we can add a switch node. And this thing is fantastic. It basically looks at a piece of information, like, say, their job title, and sends them down a completely different path. Engineers go down this road, doctors go down that road. This is how you do truly personalized automation at a huge scale. And that brings us to the payoff, right? Each one of those paths from the switch node can end with a unique action. So we can send a custom-written email to all the engineers and a totally different one to the doctors. It all happens instantly, automatically, all from that one single person filling out a form. Pretty cool, huh?
Just building a simple workflow like that, you start to see the logic and the absolutely incredible possibilities. So the real question now becomes, what are you going to do with all this power?
So let's wrap up with the main takeaways. Number 1, powerful automation does not have to be expensive. Number 2, self-hosting gives you the ultimate power and control. Number 3, you don't have to be an expert to start. Just grab a template and go. And finally, remember you're not doing this alone. There's a huge n8n community out there ready to help you out.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you know how to do this, what is the one single tedious task in your life or your business that you are going to automate away for good? The power is officially in your hands now. Go build something amazing.